Right, welcome to CSI Google, combing search indexes or indices if we're actually being proper grammarians. So in this segment, we will walk through some of the most common advanced operators in Google searches. So these are really useful because they can shorten the time to get to the specific results that we're looking for, as well as narrow the focus and also hopefully exclude the extraneous results. So let's go ahead and dive in. I really like the mug on the left. Don't confuse your Google skills with my investigative experience. One notion that many OSINT folks have, especially in the cyber and security research areas, don't understand is that they think they can solve the case just by sitting at the computer. I believe that it can actually, it's really important to have a really solid case to be able to integrate both the OSINT material, the online material, with other kind of boots on the ground, real world stuff. Interviews are often very critical in solving any type of case, and the online investigation part of it can help prepare and inform you, but may not actually take the place of doing some of the ground investigative work. So as with anything, before you get started, think about the plan and the objective. What are you specifically looking for? Who is the audience who wants it, and why? I've included a roadmap earlier in the course, a PDF that can hopefully help with this. Writing this type of information down can be very effective since it will help you save time and remember where you left off if you have to stop or pause. And it also will help you not duplicating searches if you've already done them. We've talked a lot about keywords here in this course, but I think it's helpful to reiterate it here. You can use keywords to help narrow down your results. They can be very useful in finding the right verbiage that's been indexed by Google. Because obviously sometimes the words that we use to describe what's happening are not the words that have been included in the material. So it's also important to use this and remember that this is an iterative process. There's some trial and error because of the sheer volume. Don't forget that search engines only index certain things. They don't index the deep web. Those are sites that you have to search manually. But also remember, we talked about robots.txt, there are some pages within a site that are actually disallowed from search engines. So just remember those types of issues as you build your keyword list. You can also use special words to help sort and filter your results. This is an effective and time-saving way to get to the heart of the investigation. Things like locations, known attributes, spouses, or other family members' names can all be very useful in finding people. It also depends on what you're looking for, so the purpose of the investigation is critical here. So most of the principles we'll talk about today apply to the big search engines, Bing, Yahoo, and Google. I've broken down these operators into three categories: basic, advanced, and expert. Ultimately, I think we can use them to help us find information faster, more accurately, and with better quality. We're all familiar with the Google homepage. As we get more proficient in using these operators, you can actually type them in directly. In fact, that's the whole purpose of having the cheat sheet that you can download from this course, is that you can actually start to learn them and use them pretty easily. As we get more proficient, obviously you can just type them in, but this is where you will want to, at the beginning, maybe get more comfortable with the advanced search page feature. It's not found on the home page, so you can't, if you look right here, you cannot see the advanced search. You actually have to type it in and bookmark it. So here it is. Here's the URL for the Google Advanced Search page, google.com/advanced_search. Again, this is a good page to bookmark. Here you see a lot of options. These can be very effective in helping to identify results so that we can be accurate and more helpful. One of the key items I like to point out is the time and date search here. Sometimes it can be really important if you need to find information that was indexed before or after, say, a certain date. So for example, your subject has been arrested for a certain crime and has made the news, but you really want to see any results for that person before those dates. And this can be a really good tool to be able to help return some of those results. So here are the basic operators. You can join search terms by using the OR operator, say hacking or ransomware. If you need an exact phrase, so for example, DPRK malware attack vectors, you can put quotation marks around DPRK and ending in vectors in order to return the results that exactly use that phrase. Using a hyphen can also remove or exclude results. So for example, if you need to say you want all the results for hacking but that are not related to, say, Russia, you could say open quote hacking hyphen Russia, and that will exclude those terms. Okay. You can also use the word and here to join two words together. I really like this because these are the basic tools and operators that I think we use most commonly, and so these are really the best places to start. Here are the advanced operators. So using the cache.url brings out a cached version of the website. This is a really useful tool if, for example, you have concerns about the site maybe having malware or other security issues, or if you just need to do a preview to see if it's changed since you could save that cached version and then compare it to the live version as well. Again, caches can be difficult because of the timing of when it was actually last cached by Google. I really like the related URL operator because you can find similar websites that have commonalities with the site you're searching for. So this can be useful in identifying other related searches that may have, or sites rather, that have a pertinent data or information. If you want to search for a specific word within a website, I really use the site URL operator. This is one that I just use frequently and has become really convenient for me. So you can return those. This is really neat because if you're looking for a specific term or word within that site, it will return those. If you just use the site URL operator, it will actually return all public or index pages within the site itself. So that can be a really useful tool if you're trying to get an understanding of how this site is indexed. Unfortunately, of course, again, the caveat is it may not index everything, so you may want to have some other tools in your toolbox, and we'll talk about those in another segment. The other issue too is if it's a very large website, then that might be a little untenable. File type is another great tool that will return PDFs or docs or any other specifically noted file format. So if you're looking for PDFs or say an Excel spreadsheet that's linked on the web page, that is a great tool to extract really valuable information. So here are the expert operators. I'm not going to go through each of these per se. You do want to review these on your own, but again, these are probably some of the most useful expert advanced areas. If you have a person or a topic that includes maybe recurring or commonly used names or phrases, I think of the word or the last name Smith or Jones, right? Very common. Then these types of operators can become really handy very quickly. In text and in URL are probably the most useful for my purpose, because especially now with many of the web page naming conventions, you are actually using truncated portions of the title of the page. So that can be really useful. Of course, in text will probably return more results anyway. But again, you want to try them both, kind of see how they work, see what's working for you. And of course, during the course, I do encourage you to try out multiple of these operators, test them, see what works, see what different results bring back if you change things slightly. Use them out when you're doing your discussion boards or practicals. And of course, if you use them, let us know how they worked. So if you find new variations or one that was really returned really high quality results versus say one that did not well, those are you want to tell us about it, right? Share the good news. So I want to show you just how one of these expert operators works in action. So this is the all in text operator. This operator returns results that include query words and that must appear in the text of the page. You can also use the variation in text. So again, these are multiple words. They all have to appear in the text or in the body of the actual page itself. I've highlighted some of the additional tools that can be used to help you narrow down your results, say by a specific time frame or other near terms or other ways. And again, this can be really useful if you're using a word that is actually not in the common convention, but is close. I do want to point out a great resource called Google Guide. It is a website unrelated to Google. It has some terrific examples and very useful information. Unfortunately, it is starting to get a little dated, so not exactly sure how that's going, but it's still a useful basic resource when it comes to smart Google searching. And there are others out there too, so I encourage you to do some exploring. And of course, if you do come across useful sites, please share them with us. And this is the same too. If you find good material after the course, please share it with me so that I can share it with other students as we continue this course. So again, keywords, I can't overstate it enough, I think, but here again, you can use Google to help you. Google has a dictionary and a thesaurus search function as well. And these can help you build those keywords, especially if it's a topic that you may not be familiar with. It can also be potentially good for identifying slang or commonly used but not technically accurate or accepted versions of the word. So I think most everybody is familiar with Google Maps and Google Translate, but there are three other tools that I think can also be helpful as well. First, you can use custom search engine or CSE to help create your own shortcut engines. And you can include many of these operators within that as well. This can help to save time, especially if you're doing it on a reoccurring basis. You can also set Google alerts to help return results for specific topics. So, for example, in some of my research that I do, I look at embezzlement cases or forfeiture or fraud, and I've set Google alerts to help monitor and return news articles on these cases to help me keep track of what's going on. And finally, I also want to point out Google Groups. This may be underrated. Allows you rather to search active or archived Usenet groups, but also active group bulletin boards. Some groups are private and you need to be invited in, but many groups are public. I did search OSINT and it returned 18 groups, but I also searched for the word competitive intelligence. The autofill feature actually gave me 3 or 4 options right off the bat, but it also helped me search for competitive intelligence. One of the options was search for the words competitive intelligence within any group, or find any groups that are named competitive intelligence. So again, there's some really good opportunities here. Definitely use them, take advantage of them, test them out, and see what results you get. If you're doing any kind of international case, you definitely want to do a Google search for that country page. So did you know that google.fr, meaning google.france, those results are going to be different from the ones you would get with just google.com or google.tk or google.uk. So Tulingual is a neat site. You can actually do this search at once, see the comparisons immediately. I think it's a really a neat way to do this, and it's a huge time saver. So basically it supports 37 different languages. That's pretty impressive in and of itself. It also returns the results already translated, so you don't actually need to go out and do the actual translation itself separately. So this is a really useful shop, and as you can see, so I did this search for Mahan Air in both English and in Turkish, and again you can see different issues. Now I will point out here the one problem is that it actually translated on the Turkish side when I did not want it to. So you'd have to play with it a little bit, but it's still a great tool here to use. We've spent most of our time talking about Google, but it's always good to remember that Yahoo Search, which used to be the world's top search engine, is now supported by Bing. Bing, of course, is a Microsoft product. Most of the operators that will work here in Google will also work in Bing or Yahoo or in really any other search engine. 2 points that I do want to point out that are different that I think bear interest. So first of all, the Bing Advanced Search, which is very good, is you can't actually get to it from Bing. It is the Yahoo Advanced Search, so you got to go to the Yahoo search portal and then to the Advanced tab. The site is listed up above, but again, it's a very powerful tool. Yahoo will actually return the Bing results. Second of all, I think it's important to know that there is a great operator that only appears in Bing, and that's why I think it's important to do a side-by-side comparison of what Google returns and what Bing returns as well. The operator link from domain returns any links that reside on the target website. I do point out it is important not to use the prefix www when you type the domain URL. Just type it whatever site.com or .org or whatever site you're looking at. Do not include the www. AdVangle is a neat tool that allows you to build a simple and convenient queries for these complex web searches, and again, both using advanced operators, the expert operators as well, and it returns the results side by side. There are multiple parameters that you can use, so this is another really great tool to help you save time and save save a lot of stress and headache. SearX.me, not .com, SearX.me is a meta search engine and aggregates the results of other search engines. What's neat about this one is it does not store information about its users or their searches, which of course is great for privacy and certainly for investigators. It does not mean, it means that the results are not as personalized, but that also could potentially mean a more pure search, so you could actually get technically better results potentially here without the basically having Google sorting it for you and thinking what you may be looking for. So I really like the search options for SearX for a variety of reasons. First, they have a very nice advanced search function. You can include things like files, images, maps, music, news, science, social media, even videos. I really like their social media search. It's really convenient here, as you can see. I also like the fact that you can download the results in a JSON or a CSV or even an RSS format, and it returns the results that are included within. So for example, here's the Twitter account, these Twitter accounts, and it makes it very helpful in identifying both the social media accounts themselves as well as posts within those accounts. So finally, I just want to remind everyone that searching is a continuous process. It does take time and practice, but it's very useful in any type of setting, professional, personal, academic, or anywhere. Use the cheat sheet to help keep them handy and making sure you're searching smarter and not harder. Hopefully this makes life easier and better and will reduce the number of unhelpful results. So I hope you enjoyed this short discussion of the basic, advanced, and expert search operators. Feel free to let me know if you have any thoughts or comments for future versions. Thanks for watching. We'll see you on the discussion boards. Happy searching. Cheers.